Video, we'll be going over IRS Form 8453-EG. This is an eFile declaration for gift tax returns, either on IRS Form 709 or IRS Form 709-NA. So the entire purpose of this tax form is to accompany the gift tax return. And basically, this allows the IRS to do a couple of things that aren't expressly. I mean, this is simply to give the IRS permission to do a couple of things that aren't outright stated in your tax return. So this is usually automated. It's usually pre-filled out. It's going to be another signature line in your tax return, but it is worthwhile to understand how this works. So we're going to go over this brief tax form. We're talking about what you can expect to see, and how this helps the IRS with your tax return. So at the very top, we're going to put in the calendar year information for the gift tax return. So let's say John Doe, he's filing a gift tax return because he gave a bunch of money to his daughter to pay for college, and he exceeded the gift tax threshold. So odds are likely most people file a gift tax return, but they're not going to pay any tax, mainly because there is a really big gift tax unified credit. So that's the estate tax exemption. Unless you have a net worth in the area of $10 million and above, most people aren't going to worry about paying gift tax or estate tax. However, there's an annual filing exemption amount, and if you exceed that filing exemption amount, then you would have to file a gift tax return, do all of these calculations to demonstrate to the IRS that you don't owe any taxes, and then you're going to send all of that paperwork in so that the IRS can verify that you don't have to pay any gift tax on that gift. So common examples would be people buying their kid a car for high school graduation or for college graduation, things of that nature. Again, you might not be paying taxes on your gift tax, but you may still need to file the gift tax return. So in this case, John Doe is doing that. Now, he's not paying $1,000 on his gift tax return, but this is a placeholder because Part 1 contains information. It's simply one line. It's either from your Form 709. So if you're a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident, you're going to be completing Form 709. If you're a non-resident, then you would be filling IRS Form 709-NA. So in this case, John Doe, we're putting his $1,000. This would be the gift, the tax liability that's calculated in Part 2 of that form. So they appear on different lines of the respective Part 2s, but that's where you calculate the gift tax. And then Part 3 is the declaration of the donor. So that's basically more complicated than it sounds, but it does perform a couple of functions. First, this is your direct debit authorization. If you check this box, this is telling the U.S. Treasury that you authorize them to pull money out of your account based on your direct debit information that you've put into your tax software. So you're filing this in your tax software. It's asking for your bank account information. Checking this box allows the IRS to pull the money from your account based on that information. If you don't check this box, then you need to find some other way to pay your gift tax liability if you do have one. As I mentioned, most people don't have a gift tax liability, so it's perfectly natural for your eFile declaration to look like this. You don't owe a tax bill, so you're not really authorizing anyone to pull money out of your account. So if you don't do that, you still need to be able to pay. You can use the IRS website. You can use the electronic funds transfer or the electronic federal tax payment system, EFTPS, to do that via electronic funds transfer. But if you use this option and you have a payment that's scheduled for a future date, then you would need to call the Treasury financial agent at this 800 number prior to the payment settlement date if you want to revoke that payment. So the other thing that this declaration section allows you to do is it's basically telling you or telling the IRS that you've reviewed your tax return, you agree with everything, and then it's okay to share this information with the electronic return originator, which basically is most likely going to be your accountant or your tax preparer, but then also the transmitter or intermediate service provider, which may be the intermediaries between you and the IRS. So when you use TurboTax to submit a tax return, it does go from you to TurboTax to the IRS. And this allows anyone that's in between you and the IRS to have access to this information solely for the purpose of processing your tax return. So this is what allows TurboTax to do this for you. And then in part 3, this is where your tax return preparer would sign this. So the reason there are 2 boxes here is because there was a time when tax return preparers only did paper, and then you would have to have an electronic return originator. Nowadays, virtually all tax return preparers are, in fact, an electronic return originator. So this is kind of redundant. But your tax return preparer will probably fill out this form. And if they're your tax return preparer, they're going to check this box to indicate that they're electronically submitting your return and they completed your return. If you're filing a paper return, then this section right here might be completed. So that's all we have for this tax form. And basically, this is an accompaniment. It allows the IRS to recognize that you are e-filing your gift tax return. It allows the federal government to take any taxes that you owe in accordance with a debit agreement and with the information that you've provided. And it also allows anyone that's involved in processing your tax return between yourself and the federal government to actually access the information. Again, solely for the purpose of processing your tax return. So that's all we have for this form. We have put together an article that goes step by step and has a lot of other information about how this form works and other forms that are similar to it. So we'll put a link in the show notes to that tax form. We'll also put a link in the show notes to any relevant resources that might help you as you go through this. So if you have any questions, please post them in the comments. If you like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter. If you like our YouTube videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, or if there's a topic that you'd like to see covered in an upcoming video, please hit me up in the comments section. Thank you very much and have a great day.